hot day is about to get even spicier. And that's all thanks to the burning questions you need advice on.
Natalie Bencivenga is here to weigh in, and we're starting out with a real scorcher. Nat,
you know.
Hope you're ready for this one, girlfriend. All right. While I was recovering from cancer treatments, my husband and I agreed to make our marriage open temporarily since he was very unhappy that I couldn't get physical with him. Now that my cancer treatments are behind me, I told my husband I want us to go to therapy and work on our relationship. I don't want an open marriage. He became belligerent. He wants a wife to take care of him, and then he wants a mistress to take care of him. My children are small, and I'm not in a position to support them as a single mother. What does this woman do?
Can you imagine just the level of stress? Like when you're recovering from any kind of illness, in particular, something like cancer, you need people around you that are gonna uplift you, support you, give you grace and space. The idea that the person who promised to be there in sickness and in health is treating her like this. I was like, I had to take a minute because when I read this, all I kept thinking was just leave him, just leave him, just leave him. But that's not the answer for everybody in every situation, right? And the fact that she made it very clear that that's not the thing that she wants to do, to me, it was like, okay, how do I then plant some seeds in her mind to think about what her future could look like without him? And I think when we think about that, it's okay, let's talk about self-sufficiency and independence, which is why I always go back to the fact that like women have to have their own income.
That's it.
We absolutely have to. I don't care if you were married to the most wonderful partner in the world, you just don't know where life is gonna go. So true. And I will never forget growing up, my grandmother, you know, old school grandma used to say to me, always make your own money. Just in case. And I've always kept that in my head. And so I kind of tried to plant that seed with her where it's like, maybe this isn't the moment to leave. But you can start a trajectory and a plan so that maybe you can. Because to me, the level of disrespect here.
That's what it is.
There's no coming back. How are you supposed to get intimate with somebody like that?
Absolutely. No, you know what? And it's funny you say that because I think about it like this. Marriage and relationships, it's always a gamble. Like you don't know what you're going to get. You can't control that other person. And the fact that he, in my opinion, took advantage of her when she was very weak, when you're suffering from cancer or any other disease or something that's really hard in your life, you're very vulnerable. And so it's a shame. It really is. But I also understand from being married and having children how when you have children, things change. Like you look at relationships and cheating and adding a third person very differently. And I can understand why she might want to make that work.
Oh my God.
What a time, you guys.
It is.
What time, really.
What I can say is not appropriate, so we can move on.
All right, so we have another spicy one here.
We're all thinking what Kelly
We are, absolutely. All right, I love my bestie, but she is obsessed with her body. She has always been thin, but now that the Ozempic effect is a real thing, she wants to drop even more weight. Her doctor refused to give it to her, so she found another way to get it. She has lost even more weight and is constantly complaining that her stomach is bothering her. I told her to stop taking it, but she won't listen to me. I don't want to see her suffer, and it is so sad to watch.
I know. And here's the thing, like, you can't put a value on these drugs for weight loss. Some people really need them, and for whatever the reason is that people take something like that, that's totally up to them and between them and their doctor. But if their doctor was saying you don't need this, there's not a reason, then there's obviously something else going on here with her own sense of self and self-worth. And I think the only thing you can do as a friend, you're not her therapist. You're not her mother or her guardian or somebody in her family, right? That can maybe give it to her in a sister way, right? An elder Italian sister way. And you're certainly not her doctor. So I think the reality is there really isn't much you can do, but I've seen this over and over again with women where we try to shrink ourselves and make ourselves small for so many reasons. And so if I was her friend, I would just say to her, what is it that you like to feel about yourself instead of how you want to look, and maybe help her redirect some of those feelings about all the things that she is so good at. When we look at each other, I'm not looking at you going, oh my God, you know,
she could lose 5 right now.
Nobody's thinking that. And in fact, I'm thinking, you're so smart, you're so wonderful, you're so radiant, you're so compassionate and thoughtful. Those are the things we want in our friends. We're so kind. Nobody cares what size jeans you wear. Like, that's what makes me sad, you know?
Uplift your girls.
That's it.
I think she just doesn't feel enough.
Exactly.
It's that's an internal struggle.
And that's going to take some work on herself. But I think as her friend, the job is just how do we make each other feel like our best selves? Because that's how our friends always make us feel.
Amen.
You know?
I love that.
Well, we could do this all day.
We
baby.
really could.
Thank you, Nat. If you would like to read more of the Ask Natalie advice column, we're going to link you up on our website, kdk.com/talkpittsburgh.
Well, now it's time to get your phone out because you get to decide which of these two topics Natalie will chat about next month. The first involves a woman who has been on and off with her boyfriend. While they were on a break, she had relations with someone else.
We were on a break.
Yeah, she's now pregnant and unsure of exactly who her child's father is. How does she tell her boyfriend about this situation?
Oh, no. And our next scenario is about a man who recently admitted to his wife that he's been cheating on her, but to make the plot thicker, the wife's been cheating too. With a woman. She wants to recommit to her husband, but she doesn't want to give up on her girlfriend on the side. What does she do?
Wow.
You can vote by scanning the QR code or going to kdk.com/connect. These are spicy.
Wow, they are spicy.
My life is so boring.
So many thoughts.